Most people think that waking up at 4 a.m. means feeling miserable, drained, and running on caffeine and sheer willpower. But what if I told you that I wake up at 4 a.m. every single day without feeling exhausted? And I have 3 little ones, 4 and under, and I'm up multiple times in the night tending to them. So this isn't coming from someone with unlimited time and energy. As a mother to 3, I quickly realized after having children that if I wanted free time, then I would need to wake up pretty early. And when the children wake up now, I'm not scrambling to get my own basic needs met while taking care of them too. I'm able to pour into them feeling refreshed instead of waking up at the same time and immediately feeling behind on the day. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I do this without feeling exhausted all day long. I'm going to give you my exact 4 a.m. morning routine all the way up until my kids wake up. And I'm also going to give you tips on how to make waking up this early effortless. But first, if you're new here, I'm Kiri, and I help Christian homemakers who are living in a fog of exhaustion and stress to become the patient, peaceful mother and wife they've always dreamt of being. So if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Now let's talk about why waking up early doesn't have to mean exhaustion all day. A lot of people think that being a night owl is just part of their personality. But the truth is, our bodies are actually wired to function better when we wake up early. And look, I get it. Some people are just in situations, especially with children, that just don't support waking up early. So the point of this video is not to shame you into thinking that you're failing if you're not waking up early. Not at all. And also, if what you're doing is working, then keep doing it. But if you long for those quiet morning hours alone, hearing the world wake up, then the point of this video is to help you come to a place where you feel empowered to actually become an early riser and to make that a way of life. Our hormones are designed to follow a natural rhythm. Cortisol, which helps us wake up and feel alert, peaks in the morning, while melatonin, the sleep hormone, kicks in at night. And so when you fight this rhythm by staying up late, it makes it harder for your body to reset, and that leads to exhaustion, mood swings, extra stress. And I definitely feel the difference when I go to bed on time versus when I stay up late. Love it or hate it, most of the world runs on an early schedule. Work, school, social events all happen during the day and typically the morning. And waking up early makes it easier to sync with everything around you while staying on top of your own responsibilities. So my favorite part about waking up early, though, is how I get to nourish my soul when I do. It's the perfect time for prayer, Bible study, and just moments of stillness. Even Jesus made it a habit to wake up early and pray. And I have found that my mornings with God to be so much sweeter when the house is still and quiet. Not to mention, any time I've slept in after a late night is always followed by the worst feeling waking up and realizing that half the day's gone. There's just something about an early start to the day that makes the whole day feel more intentional and fulfilling. So I'm sure most people think that waking up early is all about discipline, forcing yourself out of bed and pushing through the day completely exhausted. But here's the truth. We have a finite amount of willpower and discipline. This is called ego depletion, and it's the reason you've probably tried waking up early and succeeded for a time, only then to fall back into your old habits of staying up late and sleeping in until the children wake up. Willpower will never be enough to make this a way of life. The key is to wake up in a way that fuels you, not drains you. So the first step is to find a compelling enough reason to get out of bed. If your first activity in the morning is something boring, you'll never want to wake up for it. But if it's something that excites you, something that makes you feel alive, waking up becomes easy. For me, that thing is working out. It wakes me up, it gets my blood flowing, and it gives me energy for the rest of the day. But your thing might be different. Maybe it's a new hobby, or a house project, or a passion project. Or maybe it's learning something that you've always wanted to learn. Whatever it is, make sure it's something that makes you excited when you go to bed at night, thinking about getting to do that thing when you wake up in the morning. And listen, if you're a homemaker who feels stuck in survival mode and like waking up early is impossible because you're barely getting through your days as it is, I have a free workshop where I teach you how to regulate your nervous system so that you can get out of fight or flight mode and bring peace back into your home. When I was in a chronic state of fight or flight, no way would I have been able to wake up early. But now that I've corrected my nervous system dysfunction, my body can handle the early mornings with ease. So the link for that's below, and I'd love for you to join me there. We never want to make our first choice of the day to escape from the day by hitting snooze. If the first thing you do when you wake up is hit snooze, you're sending a signal to your brain that you're avoiding the day ahead, which can set a tone of resistance and dread for the rest of your morning. Instead of choosing to escape, choose to engage with your day head on. This small act of self-discipline will shift your mindset and set a more positive tone for the day, leaving you feeling more energized and in control of your day. When you make the choice to have the delayed gratification and to actually get out of bed instead of hitting snooze, you're reinforcing your ability to handle whatever the day brings with calmness and intentionality. And I also think this is really good for depression and anxiety to get up early. It gives you a sense of achievement right off the bat. Okay, I know I said it's not all about discipline, but waking up early does require a little bit of discipline, especially in the beginning when you're getting your body adjusted to the new rhythm. But soon you'll come to cherish this time in the morning where it's just you and the Lord before the rest of the world wakes up. You'll go into your day feeling refreshed and ready to pour into your family. And then waking up early will become easy, something that you just spring out of bed for. I have a course where I provide my students with a bunch of tools and exercises to do Christian brain retraining. And so many of these can be done while you're going through your normal daily routine, but some of them you do need time for. And much of the pushback that I get from people who so badly want to transform their own home and know that they need to rewire their responses to things is that they don't have time for this. For me, as a mother to 3, 4, and under, I make time for super important things like this in my life by waking up at 4 a.m. Because if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have time either. Working out, calming my nervous system, and spending time with the Lord are all things that are so important to me. And for that reason, I prioritize them. So rather than sleeping in, I do the hard thing of getting out of bed at 4 a.m. because the harder thing for me is feeling uncomfortable in my own skin from a stressed out nervous system and not moving my body in a life-giving way and feeling spiritually malnourished from not doing the things that Christians are called to do, like spending time in prayer and the Word. You choose your heart, right? So yeah, I do. I wake up at 4 a.m. even though I still have a baby waking me up multiple times in the night because the alternative is harder. And because what I do in the morning is so life-giving, I'm not exhausted as I go throughout my day. So here is my exact 4 a.m. routine. So at 4 a.m., I wake up, I nurse my baby, and I wake him up for this. So it's kind of like a dream feed, but first thing in the morning. And if I didn't do this, then he would wake up at some point in the middle of my morning routine, which I don't prefer. And so I wake him up, I give him a little dream feed in the morning, and then right after that, I head straight to the gym. So around 4:15 to 5:30, I work out and shower, and at 5:30 to 6:20, I do my quiet time, Bible study, prayer, my Christian brain retraining exercises. And then from 6:20 to 7, I make breakfast, drink a huge glass of water, start laundry, unload the dishwasher, respond to emails and comments on YouTube, all kinds of things like that to just kind of get a head start for my day. All that feels like a bonus because I'm doing it before the kids wake up. And then by the time my kids do wake up, I already feel calm, focused, and ready for the day. Does it always go perfectly like this? No. Sometimes my baby wakes up early and is in my arms while I cook breakfast. Sometimes my toddler joins me for my Bible time. But having this structure and this goal for how my mornings look on, a perfect day, it really makes all the difference. All right, so here are some tips on how to make waking up early effortless. Number 1, if you're going to wake up early every day, you need to take all the friction out of it. I roll out of bed. I am still kind of in a dream state. I grab my baby, I nurse him, and then I put my workout clothes on, grab my keys, both of which are already laid out and ready to go, and then I head to the gym. I don't check my phone, I don't sit down, I don't even give my brain a chance to debate it, I just do it. So make it easy for yourself by preparing the night before everything you'll need. Decide exactly what you're waking up to, lay out everything you'll need for that activity, and then make sure your morning plan is exciting so that you actually want to get up. My next tip is to expose yourself to light as soon as possible. Sunlight is of course best, but if that's not possible, which with me waking up at 4 a.m., it almost never is possible. I know this is terrible, but I actually will intentionally use my phone screen or some kind of bright light to signal my brain that it's time to wake up. I don't do this every morning, but just on those mornings that I really feel like I need that stimulation, I will use, blue light from my phone as a tool. So the same reason why I don't use my phone before bed is the reason that I will use my phone in the morning when I feel like I'm just going to fall back asleep. My next tip is to get moving right away. If I sit down first thing in the morning, I will fall back asleep. And that's why I start with a workout instead of Bible time. Movement first makes everything easier. And as much as I love the idea of doing my quiet time first thing in the morning, I've tried that so many times, and 9 times out of 10, I end up falling back asleep. But if I get moving and get my body flowing first, then I'm much more engaged in my Bible study when it does come time to do that. My next tip is to romanticize your morning. Light a candle, make your favorite drink, create an environment that makes you want to be awake. And my next tip is to get out of bed. Even if you're just sitting and reading, still get out of bed and go to another room. This sends a trigger to your brain that it's time to get up and that sleep time is over and it's time to start the day. All right, now I want to address a couple questions that I'm just already anticipating that I'm going to get. And the first is, does my alarm wake my husband up in the morning? And to be honest, I don't use an alarm. I know that sounds crazy, but when you wake up this early, unless you absolutely have to be somewhere, like you absolutely have to go to work or whatever super early, then, you don't really need an alarm. And I don't know, I'll speak for myself. I don't need an alarm because if I don't wake up at 4 a.m., I put that in the Lord's hands and I just, this sounds like so uber spiritual, but I just let the Lord wake me up. Okay. And so if I don't wake up at 4 a.m., and if he lets me sleep until 4:30, then I adjust my routine and I just wake up whenever the Lord would have me wake up. But I have gotten on such a schedule when it comes to like my circadian rhythm and when my body naturally wakes up that I'm always woken up at the same time, roughly, give or take 15 minutes. And so I don't use an alarm. The next question / comment that I am anticipating I will receive is, I have a nursing baby. And so what do I do? Babies are so fickle. They're so unpredictable. They're not on a perfect schedule. At least mine isn't. And so how do I manage that? Because I do leave the house to go work out. And so to that, I say, I have actually had to leave the gym and come home to nurse my baby because my husband's texting me saying that he's crying. Luckily, my gym that I go to is 3 minutes away from my house. So that's how I make that work. If I didn't have a gym that close, I wouldn't be going to the gym. I would just be working out at home because I will stop my workout and come nurse my baby if he's crying. And so that has happened several times where I have had to stop my workout, leave, go nurse my baby. It's not ideal, but 9 times out of 10, I am able to get my workout in and all of that. So anyway, just a couple notes that I wanted to say because I know there's probably moms out there who are like, how in the world? That would not be possible for me at all, but it is possible. It's not always ideal, but it is possible. So I hope this helps and encourages you. Waking up early is one of the most life-changing habits that I've ever implemented. You'll start to love that morning time so much and feel so refreshed and ready for the day that you're able to get out of bed so much easier every day because you understand how life-giving it is. And waking up early honestly just allows me to be the mother and wife that I want to be. Calm, present, joyful. So I hope you'll join me for that workshop. I'd love to help you step into a peaceful, purposeful life as a homemaker. And if you're interested in how to romanticize your homemaking, watch this next video.